Hello, welcome to my book reviews. My name is Tina. So it's May 4th, or as Star Wars fans like to call it, May the 4th be with you. Now, why am I reviewing a Star Wars book on post-apocalyptic media? Because it's a post-apocalyptic book, and that book is Phasma by Delilah Dawson. Now, if you're not up on Star Wars or haven't watched the new trilogy, that's numbers 7 to 9, then you won't get a lot out of this. I mean, you could still read it and understand the gist of the plot. A lot of it exists almost outside of Star Wars, but you'll get more out of it if you know and love Star Wars already. I do. I am a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not going to get into how much of a fan, but a pretty big fan. This is not the first Star Wars book I have read. So, what is Phasma the book? It's an origin story for Captain Phasma. Duh. Who is Captain Phasma? Well, there's Captain Phasma. There we go. She holds my pens for me. So, here is the blurb about the book itself. She commands the favor of her superiors, the respect of her peers, and the terror of her enemies. But Captain Phasma, renowned officer of the First Order, remains as unknowable as the impassive expression on her gleaming chrome helmet. Now an obsessed adversary is determined to unearth her mysterious origins, and expose the secret she guards as zealously as she serves her masters. Aboard the battlecruiser Absolution, a resistance spy endures brutal interrogation at the hands of Cardinal, a crimson-armored stormtrooper. The information he desires has nothing to do with covert operations. What Cardinal seeks is the hidden history of Phasma, his hated rival for power and privilege in the ranks of the First Order. Whatever long-buried scandal, treachery, or private demons Cardinal means to discover will be the weapon he wields to destroy her. While the captor and the captive are locked in a painstaking war of wills, the spellbinding chronicle of the inscrutable Phasma unfolds. But this knowledge may prove more than just dangerous once Cardinal possesses it, and once his adversary unleashes the full measure of her fury. So, there's two stories that intertwine in this novel. It starts with Vi, the spy, and Cardinal, but most of the story follows this woman named Civ, who grew up with Phasma on their post-apocalyptic planet. In truth, the book is a freaking blast. I enjoyed every page of it. It's a lot of fun. It delves into some dark topics like murder, sedition, and torture, as well as just having some really fun action battle scenes in a really cool setting. Now, it isn't perfect. There are some unanswered questions about Vi that I was kind of like, okay. And while I really enjoyed the structure of the novel, it seemed awfully in-depth for like a second-hand retelling of Phasma's tale. But that's the thing. If you accept that Vi and Civ's stories to Cardinal about Phasma are embellished for our, the reader's benefit, then it's absolutely fine. Just don't think about it that much. Just enjoy the ride. Now, while the Cardinal Vi kind of situation is interesting, Phasma's actual story is the most compelling part about the book, as you would expect. You're thrown onto this planet knowing nothing about it. I personally love the lack of exposition. It's so much fun to find out about what happened to the planet as you go along. You don't even find out that it's post-apocalyptic until about a third way through. And my reaction was like, oh, awesome, of course. And it's a quest novel, which I also enjoy. I'm not going to say the whole plot for you, but there's a lot of post-apocalyptic tropes like raiders, a barren and blasted landscape, struggling towns and settlements, and just overall a setting that, you know, those of us who are fans of the genre really, really like. I also thought it was fantastic that the story was not in Phasma's perspective. At first I wondered how this would work, like how we're actually going to learn anything about her, but it actually makes a lot of sense to me. It keeps her still as mysterious and aloof as she is in the movies, while giving her motivations and a backstory that makes sense. She's vilified in the book, as she should be, but it shows why she is the way she is. Her actions are clearly immoral, but it's clear she's acting from her own sense of what's necessary, and while that isn't always the best for the people around her, it really does explain a lot about her personality in the movies. Quite frankly, I thought she was executed quite perfectly. The story doesn't take away from her personalities in the movie and serves to enhance it. I enjoyed the other characters too. Civ was likable and her actions made sense. I cared about two of the other characters, Goska and Torben, quite a bit. They were really interesting. General Hux is in the story and he's a bit of a dick, has to be expected. And then there's like small cracks in these three stormtroopers who show up later, their mental armor, which was really interesting to see. And Cardinal, he was great. His growing conflict with the First Order, his care for the children he teaches, because that's his job in the First Order. He teaches the like stolen children how to become stormtrooper. He was great. His motivation regarding why he hates Phasma, the sense of loneliness that he has, he gets a big section near the end that is really well done. The story wraps up in a way that isn't exactly surprising, but still satisfying. Overall, I'd really recommend it to Star Wars fans who also love post-apocalyptic media. I will say, though, don't bother with the sequel, as it's a bit bloated and lacks the tension this novel has, and it's also not set in the same post-apocalyptic planet. But I will say, though, if you want a light, fast, fun read, and you like Star Wars, Phasma is great. It's really fun. So thanks for watching, and have you read this book? Do you like the new trilogy? I'm not going to get into which of the new trilogy is my favorite because it's just going to start a big comment war, but I will say that I did like Half of Phasma a lot, hence why I have the mug, and it's actually broken. It broke because my kids broke it. I just glued it back together, and I'm like, well, it kind of fits with the movies, so I'll just use it for my pens forever. And sorry about the mess behind me of these books. I'm reorganizing my classic science fiction, and yeah, we'll see when that gets finished. So thank you for watching, and bye.